Well, do you want to see what happens when you leave an old Mercedes sitting for 30 years outdoors? And you know, the bad part about it is I wouldn't doubt that that was one of these self-styled collectors. And those people that are the ones that gather up all these old cars during their lifetimes, and they just let them sit outdoors unprotected, and they tell themselves that they're going to fix them all. And in the end, they don't fix maybe even a tenth of what they acquire. The rest of them just sit there and rot till they're worthless. And those people are the worst thing that ever happened to any kind of old cars that ever existed, ever. There's no excuse for it. There's no making it sound better than it is. You know, I know there's people that, I don't know, what would you call that? Like a hoarder mentality? And you know, I've got friends on YouTube that, you know, I wouldn't tell people what to do with their stuff, ever, but again, you got to be realistic. That's why it doesn't bother me so much to sell stuff anymore that I know I'm not going to get to, because, you know, 47 years old, and it's all I can do to work on one or two of them out. And you know, the thing that you have to take into consideration is, if you're going to collect all this stuff up like that, the longer it sits outside, the more it deteriorates, and the more time and more effort and more money it takes to restore it back to, you know, pristine condition. So, you know, I don't feel, if I ever go look at an old car someplace and it's this old good old boy with a big old gut hanging over, and, you know, he's out there, he's telling the life story of these cars, and he's, you know, that was such and such, and they only made so many of those, and you know, we're not selling that one because we're gonna put that one together one day. When I hear one day, when I hear the phrase one day, I think to myself, it's over. That's it. It's over. Because I look around at this person's place and I look at them and I think to myself, what are you doing? You know, I hear you talking, but what are you actually doing? I don't see you doing any work. I see you sitting there and standing there and talking about it. I don't see you doing anything. And it's not that I have anything against people that don't do anything, but, you know, I don't know. I guess I should just say it flat out. I don't believe you, is what it is. When I see somebody that gets out 2-3 days a week at least, and they're wrenching on something and they're working, and, you know, then I have confidence in you. But when I see someone, by the way, that truck's been for sale right there, and that's it's about a 76 or 75 or 76 GMC camper special, and I've not dared to ask him how much he wants for it. It's a pretty straight truck. It's got a big block in it. But anyway, back to the subject at hand. You know, I have friends that did that. You know, they were big time talkers. Big time talkers, and I'd hang around them and I'd listen to them every weekend, and they just talk about what they were going to do, and they're going to do this, going to do that, and they never did any of it. They were good at tearing stuff apart and tearing stuff up, but they weren't good at fixing anything. And I don't know, man. I want to see action. You know, if I'm going to get emotionally involved in what someone's doing, you know, if I'm going to go along on their journey, I don't want to be a journey about them just talking about something and you see a yard full of shit sitting around out there that's deteriorated and broken. And I had a buddy one time, well, he was a guy up there that, and let me say this, let me preface it by saying he's a nice guy, he's a good family guy, but he's a buddy of mine, and he's the one that got that 66 Catalina that I made the huge mistake of selling to him, or trading it to him, I guess it was, because it ended up you know, there's a bad mistake. I knew better than to do that. I knew it, because why I knew it was I had seen beforehand. You know, well, he started out strong on car stuff. You know, he had a Mustang that he built, and he did good, and he didn't require a lot of excuse me a second here. He didn't require a whole lot of encouragement. Now, he wanted to talk endlessly about ideas, and I get bored with that. You know, I just don't get into people talking a whole lot. I mean, if it's something that's interesting and it moves along pretty quick, yeah, but you know, he's just all the time theorizing about parts, theorizing about paint, theorizing about that. He spent a whole lot of time thinking and talking, and not much time actually working on stuff. But he did build a Mustang coupe, about an 86 model, I think, which I helped him with, and I helped him with the parts. I sort of sponsored it, I guess. And he got it going and did that and enjoyed it. And then he was one of these guys that he was, and I don't mean anything disrespectful or disparaging about it. You know, it's not something I've chosen to do, but I don't have anything against this either. But he was what I call Mr. Daddy and Mr. Husband. He was one of those guys that was single and wanted to be, you know, he didn't like being single. He wanted to be married as quick as he could, or have a girlfriend. You know, if he was out of a girlfriend, life stopped for a while until he found another one. So, you know, that's fine. I know a lot of guys like that. But so anyway, he did the Mustang, and then once he got hooked up with this chick, and apparently she was pretty adventuresome in bed. Excuse me for saying that, but that's the truth. And so his attention got redirected to that full time, and next thing you know, he's ready to sell the Mustang. And oh well, all right. And so he messed around with a couple more cars after that, but you know, I could tell the fire went out on it. You know, he just wanted to talk, and you know, he had this house he bought, and it had a little shop about the size of mine, and he spent money doing fun things like buying a welder and buying some tools and extending the shop out a little bit, and air compressor, and even one of those little mini fridges, a cute little mini fridge to keep sodas and beer and stuff in if you drink beer, and fixing the bathroom up in there. You know, he did all fun stuff that wasn't drudgery, and then he just quit. That was it. He got that Catalina, and he was just, oh, you're just not going to know this car when I get done with it. You won't believe it. You're going to be amazed. And, you know, I thought to myself at first, before that car ever went to his house, I thought, nope, this ain't going to happen. This ain't going to happen. So what I did first, I didn't try to tell him what my ideas for it would be, but I encouraged him. I said, look, I said, that car runs and drives. I said, don't just tear it apart, you know, and go nuts trying to do a Chip Foose maneuver out here. And, you know, because you've never done, I didn't say this, but I thought to myself, yes, because you've never done this before. I've never seen you do it. You did one with some help, but you didn't paint it or do any body work. So sure enough, what did he do? What do you think he did? Exactly what I warned him not to do. He started tearing the damn thing apart, tore everything out of that car, windows out of it, bumpers, everything that could be unbolted, he unbolted, except for the engine. Stacked all the parts up, you know, and you can tell people that while I'm just bashing everybody about the dude that does this, or exposing, whatever you want to call it, I always know people that they're kind of faking it is because that you'll see the parts that need to be like put up and preserved and categorized and marked to what they are and where they go and kept original, so you know how to put them back and what they look like. You see stuff like that, like where they shouldn't be, like out in the yard, like kids playing on them. And like I saw the original carburetor with the tag still on it in the floor down there in the corner, you know, and he stuck a damn aftermarket Holley intake and carburetor on it, you know, and he couldn't rebuild the original one, so he said. And I thought, man, this is over. I said, I have committed a mortal sin, and I have cast this car into Project Hell, Project Purgatory. I said, this thing will never be fixed. But I tried to encourage him, you know. And, you know, it's just more discussion, more on, endless discussion about paint, who could paint it, whether he wanted to paint it, whether to do the body work, whether to fix the rust, whether to do this, and interior, and then get this, and a couple more. I think there were a couple more proclamations of, man, you're not going to know this car when I'm done with it. That's a famous last words. You're not going to know it when I'm done with it. Even though I'm not working on it. I'm not doing anything on it. I'm sitting in the house watching TV on Saturday morning. So, you know, and of course, he never did. I quit going to his house. I mean, it's not that I had anything against the guy, but I just, you know, it made me sick to my stomach. I just got tired of it. I thought, you know, I've made trips up here and tried to encourage my buddy to do this, and, you know, he's slowing down. He's wanting to spend more time inside, smoking and eating, watching TV, and messing around with the family, and that's fine. You know, I don't have any, there's nothing wrong with that. I've not said anything that's wrong, but I'm saying that's when reality set in. I thought, it's over. It's over. There's no point in me coming up here anymore or talking about it. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm done. You know, I want to say so bad. I want to say, show me some work you've done on this thing. I'll come up when you have some work. I don't want to come up here and stand around in this empty shop up here, look at the four walls and talk about days gone by and all that. I don't have time for that. I got my own things to be doing. I don't have time to come up here and do that. It doesn't mean I'm not a friend. I don't have time to just waste like this stuff. So that's the last I ever knew about it. We kind of lost contact, and I made a video kind of getting on to him, and he took umbrage with that. Ugh. Get past this damn dude. Hate these damn trucks. Oh no, I said it. I said it again. Oh no, no, no. I'm in trouble. Let me amend that so the wrath and the fury doesn't come down on me again for saying that. Holier than thou movement. I hate being behind them when they're throwing things off like that, because I'm afraid it's going to bang my car up. Okay? Is that better? So, anyway, that was the last of that. And that's kind of, let me just conclude this by saying I've had to put somebody in a timeout that normally comments on my channel, and I'm thinking about giving them another warning and another chance. We'll see, because they're nice on other people's channel, but they come to my channel and they decide they're going to rake people over the coals and judge channels and things and judge what people do. And I'm going to tell you something. This is the way I feel about this, so that nobody makes any mistake, is I have no problems with he's not from around here, I don't think. I don't have any problems with people offering commentary and criticism if it's warranted. There is a difference between criticism and constructive criticism. Constructive criticism says that there's somebody else that doesn't understand how to use a turn lane down here. I've seen that more than you believe. The difference in criticism. So the thing is, let me just kind of conclude this, but I don't know. Yeah, that'd be a cop over there. I guess I better be watching this camera. But, you know, I'll just say this. I am not about to permit somebody on my channel that has not put up one single video. I'm not going to permit them to come on my channel and denigrate somebody else's channel that's actually doing work and showing what they're doing and taking time to make videos. I don't know what possesses these people, if they have just this outsized ego, or you know, they think that their opinion is the best ever. I don't know, but I'm going to tell you real quick what I think of that opinion. You lock horns with me, I'm not about to have it, because there's a lot of people that come to my channel and leave comments. You know, they're supportive and encouraging when I need it, and
polite and things like that, and they make life pleasant for everybody. So I'm not going to have somebody come on the channel and bring acid and poison and just try to tell everybody what's bad about this and what's bad about that, because I don't need it. I'm not going to have it. So one person in particular is, you know, you're going to have to play by the rules, or I'm not going to permit it to be an issue. I'm not going to have the drama. So anyway, like I said, 9/10 you guys are always very nice to be around, and you know, and some of y'all tease me and joke with me and stuff like that. I don't mind that either. I'm not that thin-skinned, but do not become judge and jury of what all is correct and what all is good about car stuff on here, especially when you don't do. I'll just say this so that it's out here and you understand it. When you don't do shit, don't judge other people's shit. You're not the judge. That's the way it is. So anyway, guys, I didn't really exactly mean this get into a big long speech, but I'm just driving along here and it's kind of boring and I was in the mood to talk. So I'll probably post this on up here this evening, and we are proceeding along with our Chrysler project, and I've got the Plymouth Valiant, the 68. I've got it to a point that it is movable and drivable a little bit, and then I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna push it to the side. We'll get back to that later. I have some other plans for it, so we're gonna get back to that later. But first thing up, we're gonna get the 68 Fury convertible that's going to donate its engine. We're going to get it in the shop and get that engine out, and that's going to be a real hassle. I used to pull engines a lot back in the day, but I haven't done many lately, so this may not be as fun as I thought it was going to be, but we'll see. Alright guys, live from somewhere in the southeast. We'll see you later.